try to keep the confrontation to a minimum. Representative Hatfield has a question to your right.
Will the gentleman yield?
Certainly.
Representative, isn't it true that even if we pass this bill, that there's going to be a lot of people that drive around with a little black sticker with a blue line in the middle of it that won't get ticketed and have to pay these super speeder fines?
I don't know about that. I used to try that gimmick on the back of my car for years, and I'm not sure it ever worked for me. But I understand, but that's exactly how it could be.
Representative Dukes has a question to your left.
Yes, sir.
Would the gentleman yield?
Certainly.
Is it not true? Am I understanding you to say that that much of this revenue is coming not from people who are super speeders, but merely an opportunity for the state to raise the fees for licensing reinstatements for everyone?
Well, I don't have an audit on it, but you know, it pretty well speaks for itself. If this bill passes and it goes through the process, then you get stopped for running over 85 or 15 over the speed limit. You're going to go and you're going to pay your fine to your local judge, traffic judge, and you'll file that. But then you're going to send the Department of Driver Services an extra $200. That's going to probably be very iffy, because I look to see probably a lot of those are going to be downgraded as they are already, knock off a few miles. But the big dollars in this is going to be raising the reinstatement fees. And quite simply, if you find out, call DDS and find out on a period of course of a fiscal year, how many constituents and Georgia citizens have to pay for a reinstatement fee, X that times another couple of $100. And there's where the big money will be.
So this, is it not true then this is reinstatement fee for anyone who has lost their license will have to pay?
That's for anyone that's lost a license, whether it was a lapse of insurance, whether it was a points violation, for any of the purposes. And I know that the language as presented, it sounded very, very strong when you start talking about DUIs and all. But this is for every violation that you lose your driver's permit, your licensing.
Representative Henson has a question to your left.
Thank you. To my friend in the well, I just want to make sure that I understand this correctly, that if you get stopped for speeding, for these particular excessive speeds, you get the county or city fee that's on it, that goes through our local courts. Then you get an extra $200 on top of it, and then there's the reinstatement fee on top of that. Is that correct?
What that is that if you get caught for speeding on the speeding part of this bill, your points don't go up. This doesn't have anything to do with points or any serious damage to you. What it does is all about money to my friend from Stone Mountain. But if your license has acquired enough points, or if there's some other violation, the real money is in raising the reinstatement fees from the $210 to $310, $410. That's where the real money is. But if you get that, or one of your constituents gets that speeding violation, they'll go through the normal course of the courts. They can present their case. Then they'll pay their fine, which in most cases I think that a fine right now for speeding over the limit of 15 over, I think most of those violations now are running in excess of $600 to $800. And I had one told me $900 for a speeding violation in excess. So then you're just going to toss another couple of $100 onto it that won't be paid to the courts, but you'll then send it to the Department of Driver Services. And if you hadn't paid it within, I think it said 60 days, then I think you get tagged with another $50 because if you didn't send it within 90 days. So there's your process.
Just a follow-up question, if you don't mind. Currently, I have constituents who get stopped and don't have the money to pay their fines, and with my local city courts and all, they're able to work out either community service or there's someone that they can pay $30 or $50 a month to till they pay it and all. Is there anything in this that would allow them to make payment in increments, or does the whole thing have to be paid off at one time within that 60 days? Because remember, they still have the county one, And then they have another one, and I'm just really concerned that we haven't put something in there to enable people to pay according to their income.
Well, if I understood what you said was, is there any provisions to make a time payment on this? No, ma'am. I don't know. Certainly not. As a matter of fact, I don't know any courts of jurisdiction now that allow folks to make payments unless they're on probation. And the reason they're on private probation in most cases is that guarantees that they're going to pay those fines. But no, there's no provisions about paying a fine on a payment schedule. No, and shouldn't be.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Representative Hextall has a question.
Thank you
Yes,
very
sir.
much, Mr. Speaker. In Section 4, lines 69 through 71, the reinstatement fee for first such conviction shall be $210 or $200 if paid by mail. I understand that is it not true that this is a discount, of course, of $10 if it's paid by mail? I don't see any provision in here that would allow for either a discount or the same fee if paid online.
There's
Is there
no
any
discount.
provision here? Pardon?
There's no discount.
Well, I'm saying, am I reading incorrectly? It says the reimbursement fee for a first such conviction shall be $210 or $200 if paid by mail.
Exactly. And what can I answer to that? The $10 discrepancy?
Yes.
The $10 discrepancy is something
Well,
that...
I'm sorry, and I apologize to you. Go ahead.
The $10 discrepancy was something as passed probably 10, 12 years or better ago, and that was to discourage people from going down to the Department of Driver Services to pay their fines. It's cheaper if you just send the money order in the mail, and they can process it, so they were giving a discount at that point to do that.
Sir, does the gentleman further yield?
Yes, sir.
Sir, then you're agreeing with me, and I apologize if I didn't make it clear. What provision or discount is allowed, sir, or if any, if the individual pays it online? Obviously, isn't it true years ago when this was initiated, we didn't have the convenience or the technology advancement that we have now with people being able to pay online. Is there any vision, sir, considered other than just the mail, giving a discount to people that pay online?
There is no discount to pay online. They don't take it online now, I don't think. It's got to be mailed in.
Sir, isn't it true that some departments would, and of course I've had family members, unfortunately I have to expose them, isn't it true that people have paid fines online? And my question is, with technology now, sir, has it been any consideration, isn't it true, sir, at one time you were chairman of driver services, isn't it true, sir, that we considered using the mail as a discount? Is it any consideration with the advancement of technology since this provision was written to consider giving a discount for people that pay online?
Oh, I'm certain at some point that probably would be an option. At the rate that these fines and the reinstatements are increasing, at some point there'll have to probably be a loan company that'll have to be set up to work out the terms of these. That's how heavy this is
And
going.
so then isn't it true, sir, that I'm saying that answer to that question would be no. Is that correct?
No.
All right, thank you.
That's all the questions I see.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And ladies and gentlemen, I would encourage you to take a very serious look at this proposal. Call it what it is, but I want you also to consider what I continue to talk about, the unintended consequences of this initiative of public policy and where it may very well lead us down the state, not only in what law enforcement, how they view their duties as far as enforcement, but also how your constituency will view this, that all of a sudden the public policies of the state are that traffic violations is not about doing what's right and for law enforcement to stop them, but it's about raising revenue. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.